episode 46. I've got three cameras on the day, because there's one on me. I know that you'll be wanting to see that. The other 2 cameras are on Liam and Ross Archibald. I've actually got the boys in ahead. This goes out on the Monday ahead of testimonial. It's 28th. Is that
28th,
right?
yeah, Saturday 28th.
So this will be out on the, I can do my maths now, 22nd of June. June, there we go. We got there in the end. So we'll get into testimony in a wee bit. I'll always go way back, but I also know you lads for school. I remember, I don't remember you lads from before school. I remember playing against you for East End Primary.
That's right,
Full of Mardy boys, and
that's it.
I was Seafield, full of non-Mardy boys, Bishop boys. But I remember you from back in the day. I'm going to open up a weird question here, but right, have you ever been spoke about as individuals, or from a young age, it's always been Liam and Ross and Liam?
It's probably always been. We always came as like a package, really.
Aye.
And it had its advantages though. Okay, it's like if I done well, it was Liam and Ross done well. Okay, or if Ross, because there was a period. When we were at Elgin Youth, so I mind there was a wee period when they used to have like an elite squad and all that. They called it, which when you look back, I think it's ridiculous. But
it is.
It was like a very brief moment. They stripped it right back, but then they obviously realised they made a mistake and they went into a proper youth team back again. And he scored about 11 goals in a game in the boys' league, and they were straight up the house, went him back again. So, and obviously my mum's like, well, if you're talking to him, you'll have to take the other in, So,
aye.
So it had its advantages. So maybe that was a brief moment where it was Ross on his own, but I still managed to wangle myself back in.
Which I think that's helped you both through your careers.
Probably gets you noticed and that. Because they call the 20 look good, and it's like, because you've got someone that can notice you by.
It's weird because like you came through the same time as the Fraser twins came,
right,
and like I don't think
they'd be a couple of years younger than us, but it would be probably a year and a half really.
But you just kind of push through leagues at the same times and things like that, and they're a bit the same. One of them would do well, both of them would get picked up. Like I think one of them was getting looked at by Newcastle, so both of them were getting looked at by Newcastle. It's the way it works. Like. Right, I'm going to go back to the start. I'll ask you first, Liam, and then I'll ask Ross, and then I'll keep switching between you for questions. Okay. Right. So, how good a football player as a kid, and what age did you realise you had a bit of potential?
Obviously, I just thought we were quite decent, but you only realise it when you're playing against folks. So it's more. I mind playing for East End, like you said before. It was, you realise when you were going, clean, sometimes we won a few of the festivals. You'd go, I think the Hope Gala was the first time we won.
Mind the Gala, Soccer Sevens.
Aye.
Fucking
there's all that. I loved that. The Forest used to, that was the best stage of life, at school tournaments. And I think when we used to go, we'd win a few of them. And you realise that, because we were very quick, so you had that kind of advantage, and we're obsessed with football. But like you said, a team full of Murdy boys, we all played football constantly together. Whether it was at the back park or up the top the houses, and it was a lot. There was all our boys all the time. So when you're there and you're getting picked ahead of boys that are all and when you pick the teams, you kind of think, oh. But when I first realised it probably was all right was when you kind of get to an age where you get picked up. Well, it was Elgin under 12s. That was probably the youngest age group they had, and you were doing on a Sunday morning. Brian Duke used to take it.
Oh Christ! That's a name I've heard in a long time.
It was brilliant. You go on about it, how brilliant Brian Duke it was. That Sundays, you never forget. It was all like ball work and it was all the basics of football, but he kind of drummed it into you. But when you were going to that, you were playing with other boys that are the best players of all the different schools, so you realise like, all right,
also
doing something right, when you're in amongst that.
You get like it was almost like the best, all the best players for all the best schools were all at Elgin, and it's like it was, there was nobody shite, there was nobody shite at that age, or nay that you realise. Ross, what about yourself? What kind of age you thinking?
It's probably similar. like a boys again. I actually mind when I mind going down at Primary 2. We were in Primary 2. Liam got asked to go down and play for the Primary 3-4 team, and I remember my mum taking me down to watch because there was only one boy, so Liam was there, so he played in it, and I mind thinking, like I'm being jealous, but then like seeing him do well, I'd say like in an early memory, seeing him do well and that, and thinking, well, and then it's not till a few years, thinking, well, he was under what he should have been, but and then playing that football tournament, so I went to Dingwall. A tournament, the Coca-Cola thing, I think it was. You had to go through you played Dingwall and then you get through to Dundee, and we went up to Dingwall and went off the bus, and I mind this, there was a bus with an Nairn team, and they were kind of laughing at us because we were all just wee boys, came off this wee mini bus, and we beat them 8-0, no bother. We won our group games, and I mind there was obviously Ross County coaches and that doing, and I think they were asking our mum if we could do them, but she was saying, no, happy Elgin. And we got to the final, and we played Dingwall A. I couldn't tell you he was on that team. He was probably good players, probably at Ross County or something. And we were all just Murdy boys playing against them, and we drew, and then we beat him. I scored a golden goal to win the tournament, and I mind thinking, you felt a wee bit of the hero. So that's when you thought, we're doing well here. But then to flip it round, when we went down to Dundee, we got smashed every game. We scored one goal. I taken the corner, and Liam scored a header, and that was it. But it was like, you thought, we've done well to get there. But I think that was kind of the first time I thought, I'm kind of doing all right here.
That tournament, it felt serious, didn't it? 'Cause
it
it
felt
was
serious,
like a whole North of Scotland thing, and then you come through it, you've kind of realised, right, okay, we're probably doing all right there.
And then McKinney, you just pointed back to it as well, Boys League.
Best days of your life, Boys League.
Loved it. I still go down and watch, and I was coaching in it a few seasons ago, and you can go down now and it's still the same. It still takes you back, and you're like, all right, this is a wee bit nostalgic. Which your memories of that? Like, I can't even. I'm sure it was Saracens, and I'm sure it was Cameroonians, but like,
it starts to fade.
I
used to ken every team I was in and every medal I won, every team, but it starts to fade. I mind my first juniors was at St Giles, and I mind maybe a bit of wee for it in, but then when I was at Cameroonians a year after, I done well in it. But I mind that then he was on about getting out 11 goals, because it was mind Adam Ross scored. He scored, I think he got 10 on the Wednesday.
Team that year.
He got 10 on the Wednesday, and he was winding me up at school on the Thursday. And then the Friday I went and got 11. I was like, here we go. So I was chuffed laughing, but it's just magic memories of kind of winning. I think I won a few leagues and cups, and you get player of the year aints. And
I mind then the juniors get player of the year and won. I think we won a treble or the double anyway.
Aye. Mind a few of the boys.
But you got the Boys League selected, I mean.
we were at Boys League
St Andrews. It was brilliant.
It must have been 40. What year? Every year celebration.
There was a few standouts, because obviously it was yourselves. Soapy as a standout. Chile was actually a standout.
Chile won player of the year when I
He was in my
team.
team. I've had him. I think it was at Waverley or something.
And he was a defender, winning player of the year. I mind that.
Never spoken about. He was so underrated. He was never spoken about as a football player. But when he played, he was good.
It was unbelievable. He was just, because I was best mates with him for years. He was one of these boys, right? He was good at Aachen.
Yeah.
Like, see, if he went and played golf, he'd be good. He went and done
one of them,
just good. But so you just write him off, kind of looking at him, you think.
But he struck me as quite laid back, so it's probably why it is.
That's what it is.
He just kind of got on with it.
Doesn't go to things, let things come to him. That's some fiker. That's for them, kind of.
That's it.
But also, I think I spoke with Coco a bit. We had boys like Peter Ramsey.
That's right,
there, and then Derek Ramsey, and then there was
that select team was a good team.
Because I had Peter. I hope if Peter ever listens, he'll be sitting there thinking, I mind to tell him I got 11 assists that game. Every time I see him, obviously he moved a lot, but every time I see him, he reminds me, I got 11 assists that day.
And then you said that kind of great football team. You had boys like Ian Anderson, and went on to county and things. That's the only reason I got a game, was because he went to county. But and then you had Coco arriving, I think it was second year, and it was like, who the fuck is this? But you obviously knew of who he was beforehand.
I knew him for football, but I remember that's when we really started to be pals with him, because I was in a lot of his classes at school and on. But I was getting him and got on with him, but
unbelievable football player at that age, wasn't he?
He was. He was
Just
a different player, by the way. He could actually control a ball
And he
then.
was slower. he was slow and good at the bar. And then as he got older, he got fast as anything and didn't need a touch because he could just take a big in and go bye, boys.
Turned into a different player of the day. It was weird,
It's mad. It's mad. Right. Football idols growing up. These are different positions. And as far as my memory is, if I was being, you've always been
I
further
can
at the
play
back.
everywhere,
You've pretty much always been a striker all your
I
days, Ross.
played out wide now and again just because fast, but striker usually.
Idols different or same idols?
Very similar. Henrik Larsson would be the top.
I'll be a joint in.
There's a triple right here.
I remember my first Celtic game was Cadetti. George Cadetti was my earliest day.
I had the car with hearts, mind, with their names on them.
Bumblebee tops.
I've still got it. I've got to do actually. I had to get it to my loon and then try it on.
That's fucking.
I would say I'm not out with it. Celtic, I mind going about kind of would have been a fake holiday Argentina top with Batistuta in the back.
Batistuta,
So for playing, I think you're Batistuta.
Juventus with Del Piero.
Del Piero.
No, Henrik and Lubo.
Lubo.
Those are two main names. We were at the right age for getting the best of them. You'd be the same.
Yeah,
Sutton and all them boys, but
that's when you're coming into your prime. You're fit by 9, 10 years old, and this is when
you're obsessed with it.
This is the team is just.
My dad used to say about Henrik Larsson, we were hard on ourselves. If we missed a chance, I would beat ourselves up. But my boys, I say, look at Henrik. He just gets on with it. He slaps his hand and just says, well, I'll get the next day. I use him as an example. Watch him. Like, I'm not going to get nowhere near that. But at least if you can pick up the wee bits and pieces.
And then kind of we spoke about it as well, but that select team, you are going in. You play with boys a year old. You've got boys like Michael Dunn, and kind of.
But the select team that went down to St Andrews was a good side. You had Lee and Graham's brother Lurch.
Christ, I forgot Lurch.
Steve McKenzie. No, it was good.
Sander Jack. Here, Cameron Campbell's wheel. He's went on and he's doing well with coaching, isn't he?
Leipzig, isn't he?
Germany or something.
But it was a good side. So can I mind to try to get up front? It was me, Soapy, and Cameron Campbell, and we were kind of sharing the kind of minutes about, and we were getting goals. We've done well that tournament. I think we got the semi-final, got beat, but like Lee Miller, was he there?
He would have been that team.
So it's good boys there.
Donald Wood.
Stuart Pete.
That
was a good boys going doing. I think
Graham and Lee were both there.
they
were not in the team, but they obviously their brother playing in it. They were doing, and I'm pretty sure they played for us. Mine we got knocked out, and they played a couple of friendlies at the end.
Lothian,
they played for us.
Lothian, Hutch of Vale, was it? Played. I think they're kind of well known for having a really good youth setup. And
They are.
We played them. My friend, I think it was maybe a team that was probably Lee and Graham's age, but we were also a couple of years above them. Played in a friendly, and they looked. Lee and Graham looked good in it. I think.
Again, it was Brian Duke took that team, but how funny it goes full circle. Steve Porter was doing it. He was doing his helping out, his coaching it, and he was our manager at Lossie.
All that 20 years ago.
Funny how it works out like that.
No, it would have been probably Steve first getting involved in about coaching and things about them.
Because it was him and Fraser Bremner.
Madness, full circle, as you say. That's what football's like. Right, Elgin youth days, kind of getting spotted earlier on and things. Can you mind what it was like, Tartars round about and things like that, or?
It was
so
an age group.
probably Tartars, Tiger, Steve, Duke, as we just said. Who else would you mean kicking about?
Charlie Charlesworth was there at a point as well. He was head of youth for a while. But we had like coaches that Joe Mackay was in, and but there was a couple of boys for the RAF and that, something like the boy Paul Caulfield, and he was a really good coach. And
there's probably about 5 boys at mine who were on about, but he was really good impression of me.
But no,
really
Tiger and all that's the main names. Like mine with the age group, and it was Tiger. It took us. Was it Gordon Nicholson or something?
He's new at Carly or County.
But Tiger was the main coach. But that was Tiger was. I think Tiger, he taught us the basics, like proper formations and where you're supposed to be when you're
body shape.
Aye, it's proper.
Good
like
habits.
folks say old school, but it's like there's a place for all that every time. Again, it's just basics of football. Got to learn it.
Aye.
It's good habits. Yeah, used to I would say that. But even when we became adults and became maybe touched it later, but going down to and low to like Ralph Lossie and I mind Tiger saying just good habits, just dinna sway away for the good habits, just do the right things and it'll come in. So and he's right. It's basics. It's not old school. It's principles really.
It's not a complicated game. Boys try to overcomplicate it all the times, and if you do your basic stuff well, the rest will come with it. Like
Because I think Tartars is quite good at that. Can he was said, you got to be fit for a start. And I tell you, he got you fit. the famous.
I've heard about these sessions like that.
Like I remember, I can't remember how old would have been, under 17s maybe, and he took us pre-season.
And Oakwoods.
Honestly, Oakwoods, like it's called the Tartars Hill at the start of it. Before you've even started doing it, you're going up and doing this lamppost and that. And but you said, you'd run round the pitch and then you'd jump and touch a crossbar 10 times and run round again, touch it, jump and touch 10 times. And honestly,
I'm tiny.
Wee boys, Tartars.
Like couldn't even reach.
He's a chance. No, he's a legend, Tartars. So. There's some thing as that saying, some boys, they're not good coaches, but they're good folk to be around. They're legends. What a laugh you'd take.
Oh, that's you'd have fun at the same time as what you were doing.
Well, that's the thing. You've got to enjoy it.
Aye.
So
that Highland League wouldn't be what it is these days with boys like Tartars and that. And how many boys have came through some sort of coaching of his, or you've got. I think there was a good coaching set up at Forest for years and years, and amount of boys that came through their setup and things like that. And their characters are a bit old school, but you want to be getting the football players if you didn't treat boys the way they're treating them and doing the things they're doing. It's bang on. Like, right, Ross, what's your first taste of adult football?
Well, we were probably. I could easily just say we were training by the Elgin first team and but it's not really. You're training. It's totally different from like playing a game on a Saturday. So it was probably when I left Elgin. I was between 16. I think I actually played an under-19s game, and it was Graham Donaldson got sent off, and I get 10 off at half time and put a defender on, and I went home in a strop and I just left there and then and went to Lossie because Charlie had taken the Lossie job and he was obviously he went to take a few boys in, and I went down there and it was about March time, and from then on I went down on loan to Ralph Lossie to see the season.
Colin was there now, wasn't he?
Aye, Coco came, he was there and so two of us went down to Ralph Lossie on loan, and it was just like playing with adults, but obviously it wasn't the best. I mind kind of thinking, my mates are still at Elgin, why have I left to come here? But it was the best thing I'd done, so I played Maloney's football as early as I could, and then obviously seen that season out, but it was when I went to Loss United the following season loan, really sort of got the changing room on the buses and just being around men and kind of getting hit every Saturday. I mean, before my debut for Lossie, I get a couple of elbows off a face away to Glentana, and if anybody's played at Glentana away, it's horrendous. The change room's nothing. But the rain was going sideways. I got a few elbows off a face, and then a few weeks later, I'm playing Forest, my debut, and Nathan Sharps went through me. But I mind just thinking, was that it? Like I've had worse a couple of weeks ago, and see if I never had that a few weeks before,
you'd have shot yourself.
That's it, simple as that. So that was my introduction, was playing in the juniors, and on loan for Lossie, and the best thing I'd done. It's probably not the best pathway for everybody, but it was perfect for me, and it's probably what I needed at the time.
I totally agree. I think it's I'm trying to get a lot of boys for Coco's one I've been in touch with recently. Unfortunately, his boys are all Aberdeen based, but I'd love to take a few boys 16, 15, 16, 17. I've got a welfare team, if they're not ready for juniors, it's adult football at the end of the day,
There almost is like a gap for that. When you're 16, 17 year old, sometimes you're needing just that bit of just game time. It's like you can't buy experience, just literally play football.
Aye. And as long as it's of a half decent level, and you're getting challenged, it's I think it's good for you. I just think you look at Elgin used to do with Bishopmill United back in the day in the juniors, they were just farm boys out there for 2-3 seasons. Get boys like Neefy and Ian MacArthur and all these boys.
They were probably 15 doing that.
Like fucking Pelly Patterson was captain of Bishopmill United and fucking ended up playing for Man United.
That's it, because folk develop differently in our. Like, you'll get folk that are ready to be, well, say Highland League fit by when they're 17, 18. But then some folk are not ready till they're in their 20s. You need to be, it's literally just filling that gap to get your experience. It's even just growing, like, physically. We see, well, we've got young loons that training now, it's like, loon Sam couldn't run up the hill because I'm like, you've no power in your legs yet. You need you need 50 games under your belt to get. It's funny. It's just wee things like that.
It comes with experience, as you say. Right, Liam, first taste of adult football for you.
I like somewhat the Roscoe kind of like saying about Elgin, the training with first team and all that. It was, you get a wee taste of it there, and then I been on the bench a few times, and I did get on for Elgin. In fact, we played the North Scotland Cup for a May year, but that was
that the season when they were playing all the young boys?
Aye, we were like 15 year old. We were 15. I think we were 15.
We were still 15.
We were under 17s because there was no under 19s, and we played it, and it was literally us and Darren Shalliker was the only first team player there, and Forrest hammered us, and we get slaughtered for it. I remember, like, there was this big uproar. We're like, but we're 15 year old playing against Highland League team. Like, he's a chance.
Exactly.
But you're still felt it. You're like still annoyed at yourself because you still got that personal pride. But when you look back, you think, he's a chance. So there's that, and then because I mind after that, I think Elgin played a RAF UK team, and somebody get injured, a first team player get injured. So Dunk McPhee was maybe right back. He ended up in centre half. So I played right back, but I wasn't like really known as a right back, or I was kind of wide midfield. And it was like, you play right hand side, you play. And honestly, I got the bat and I just hammered the bat to Darren Shalliker, and he plucked everything down and made me look the best right back I've ever seen. So I suddenly I got on the bench a few times off the back of that, and I came on against the Cowden Beath, and I mind that I was like 17, but you still felt you were kind of just, you were there. You weren't a part of a squad. You never considered as
one of the team.
First team player. You're a young boy that's kind of filling in, really. But then I kind of went into, obviously, seen him starting to play first team fitba for Lossie, like United, and then he got games for Lossie, and I just basically went the same. I went to play that first team proper, and so I went to Lossie, and I mind first game for Martin at home, Cup, came on, and then Biscuit scored a winner. We had a big pile in the corner, and I just thought, I absolutely love this. And that was it. Proper, the penny dropped in. I was like, this is what it's about. Like, it meant something. Like, you're part of a squad that won a game to get into, would have been a quarter final or semi final. That kind of would be the first proper real experience in adult football, really, when you actually mean something. And you're getting paid on that.
Aye, exactly. That's a boost there. You're hooked for there, like. Right, okay, here's a tasty question. Liking each other, a professional footballer. So if there's anyone that you could think you can model your brother's game on in the professional.
I'm picking for him, you're picking for me.
Aye. I'm not going to go like big hairs because that'll just be embarrassing. No, I'll keep it Celtic, half Celtic related, and I don't know if you'll like this, but
I bet you
I'd probably say like Kenny Miller.
Kenny Miller, okay, aye.
Right, and I'll tell you why, because he was quick, he grafted, a total grafter, and that's what Roscoe is, and he moaned, and that's what he does. But I think it's like it goes underrated because he also scored a good few goals.
He did.
Which Roscoe could score, but I think a lot of Kenny Miller's work went under the radar. Like, see, just non-stop running, and it's not just like folk. Can they say the modern game? They've got to be runners, and not like there's always been runners.
I didn't get that either.
But they say like it's for like press and all that. But Kenny Miller, his best running. And I think that's why I think Roscoe is, see, when you've got the bar, and it's folk you can do all the coaching and all that, and it's like you've got to be here and here and that, but you need folk to be moving, making runs and creating space for other boys to look good. So I always thought Kenny Miller made everybody around him a better player, which is probably some of Roscoe. So
outstanding.
I'll follow up.
Outstanding.
I'll follow up. For you, See, you're quite a tough thing because I've seen you play at right back well, of the out wide when we were younger, and in centre mid. So probably to keep it here, I'll end up being Celtic related, and is a boy that probably done that was started off a wide player and became a good sort of box to box centre midfielder was Paul Hartley.
Aye, okay. Fucking hell, lads, this is brilliant.
Nails like graces, no like anything fancy, no tricks that just kind of, obviously we're twins, so we've got similar sort of attributes, the grafting, the up and down, the grit and determination to drag his team through a game. So it's kind of similar to that. And he used to be wee and fast, but you've kind of filled it a bit and you lost a wee yard or two. But, he was fit and Liam's probably up here the fittest boy in the team, because okay, if you were at D5K, there's boys that'll blitz it, but all round package of the power and fitness. And like I'd say Liam's up at the top bracket with us, so probably similar to Paul Hartley. That's put me on the spot. That was the last minute. I thought it's alright for a last minute.
I'll take that.
Fucking brilliant.
Turn out.
I did not expect them two answers tonight, lads, I'm telling you.
I could have went Gerard or something, but
I had like Suarez and on in my head. I think I'm going to try and keep it as close to home as possible.
I think it's somebody useless, kind of like that.
Right, okay. Liam, give us a quick 5 minutes on your time in the Highland League. I'm not going to ask you for like any standout stories, or just where you started to where you're at now.
Well, aye. So like I've said, I started at Lossie. I was 18. So that would have been March 2010.
Okay.
So 15.
Aye, we're all getting on,
15
bud.
years ago.
We're all getting on.
Wild. But no, that was so I went to the semi-final of the Highland League Cup that year, and like I say, you get a taste for it, and I loved it. From then on, I was like, couldn't wait for the next season to start, because I'd signed in the March. You kind of seen out that season, then it was pre-season, and it was like good. So so I had a good few years at Lossie. Charlie was manager.
Yep.
And then
in a good team
with loads of experience, but like, and good boys, kind of really good boys. And everybody get paid the same. There's none of that. It was all just good. And then Dunner was Kev Walker's manager briefly, but then Dunner was manager, and he started playing with centre midfield. And felt I'd done well there. I played some good boys there now. Scotty Miller was probably my favourite boys to play with in midfield. We had a good balance where he liked to push on and go forward, and I liked to just do a bit all round. So I got Player of the Year, 2013-14 season, and then I had a couple of. I mind Mo phoned me to maybe go to Nairn, because Les Fridge was the manager at the time, and then Charlie was manager at Devon Vale. So Charlie kind of convinced me to go there, which would make sense, because Charlie always had my back and all that with that, and he came as a player, and
a great club as well to go
and it was a good. And see, at the time, like, it's different new Devon Vale, but at the time they were off the back of a lot of success, and Charlie, I think he's so underrated there, because see the job he done there, considering the backing that some managers had compared to what he had, he got a really good team. And I think when I got there, he left pretty soon after. But it would have been about the end of September time, I think, and which was a bit of a searing for me, because I was still settling in, and it was a shame, because I was right up for everything I've got for him, and it was like a bigger team, and you felt you had opportunities to win stuff. But like I say, I think their expectation in the match of the back end Charlie was getting, it was just the way it worked out, and that's it. But then after that, it was about January that season, I actually broke my leg. So my kind of time at Devon Vale was just me being injured. My broken leg. I had 3 operations on it. It was quite bad, and I lost all the feeling in my heel fit. In my toes, I curled up. I couldn't straighten them. So I ended up getting operations to sort the tendons and all that. And I still can't feel my toes, but I've still managed to play 10 years after it.
You worked around it.
But so that kind of hampered that, and then I was coming back for that, and I ended up, it would have been end of 2016, I think. I was kind of getting myself back into being on the bench and playing in that, and I just thought, it was a travelling and stuff. I thought, I need to get closer to home now and just kind of start enjoying it again. So had the opportunity to maybe go to Rothes under Fraser Bremner. Was quite impressed with what he was doing there, and there were some good lads here. But then Charlie took me back to Lossie, and then Charlie done his usual. He'd bailed on me pretty soon after, and but since then I've kind of been at Lossie again. So
captain.
Aye, so I was about 20. Would have been after that year, I think, when Ian McRae was a manager.
I remember that. Yeah,
he put me as captain. So I was captain at Lossie. Well, would have been about 2017 right through till just the season past there, just halfway through the season. Aye, but that's been good because I came back and it was like so the club kind of had a bit of rebuilding to do because there was a lot of upheaval over the years, but like Ian Campbell and that and Joe Russell and that were working with the under-20s at the time, and they knew there was a good group here, and it was like literally just getting these boys into the first team, and it was quite good timing for myself because I felt like I've built up a bit of experience in the Highland League. I had plenty to offer, not only for Lossie because still had my own kind of fit back ink about, but it was good to kind of help the younger boys come in and settle in and that. I mean, we were probably quite hard on them, to be honest with you, sometimes.
That's what you got to do.
Like Sasuli, Brody, all that, I'll tell you again. But because it was just wetting up to take it serious, again, because it was serious to us. It's Highland League football. It's quite a bit good standard, again. So, but no, so then it's just kind of been at Lossie each season and just try to keep us competing and getting better and better, and absolutely desperate to get in our final because we got in 2017 the North Scotland Cup. Just Brora every season.
Juggernaut.
Keep playing.
If it's not a final, it's a semi-final. They've beat us again. Penalties and all.
Yeah.
But so it's just keep just being at Lossie, kind of enjoying it, really enjoying it, and do my best.
Knew you're on to a testimonial.
Aye, that's it.
Mad.
So,
Ross, start to finish. You
Yeah.
kind of mentioned kind of Ralph Lossie and that.
I was kind of loaned for a couple of months and seen each season, scored goals there, enjoyed it. There were kind of the local lane was kind of in two divisions then. I think the bottom division had Bishop Milnham was in it, I think, at the time. They were maybe quite poor at the time, but Rathlos White Hills were poor. Mine, but Rathlos were kind of near the bottom, and then we ended up having a decent push and finished maybe third or second. And me and Coco felt we done well there, and it was good though. You get looked after because it's like the Rough boys. Some boys maybe give them a bit of a hard time, but they were really good to us. They were good, looked after you, picked you up, taking you training and all, and made sure you were never struggling for a lift and that. And then I seen that season out. And went to Loss United, where I really enjoyed it there. We had a good side. I think we were a top team. That season we finished the top team of the kind of Murray teams.
Aye.
And obviously you had good New Elgin team in and Bucket Rovers and on. So Devon side. I beat him.
For Loss United,
I beat him the last game.
Craig Cowie and Graham Roger.
Because they had Craig Cowie, Graham Roger playing, and me and Coco were playing at Loss United. Beat him 4-2. I think that ended up cementing us I think it was third behind Inverness City and Fraserburgh United, but halfway during that season, Lossie had a wee bit of striker crisis, and I got drafted in to play Forest. It was my debut at home, and just landed for him that day. So I scored a goal, got an assist, even though he didn't really register assists then. I knew it was a big thing, but a goal and assist, and I got the UCD Player of the Week, and so I got that, and that was me kind of cemented in, like my kind of known with the Lossie team, because it was only training like once a week with them, and you were kind of part of it, but still felt you were never needed. And then once a that game, you were all of a sudden you're at night suit and part of it. And then Liam came in about, and we were both. I was back at Lossie then to see that season, bar the few games that I could, because I think we played the last game of the season for Loss United. Me and Coco played in it because we went up to Wick on the Friday night with Lossie. for some reason it was a Friday night game away to Wick. Went up here and get home, whatever, 1 in the morning would have been ish, and up and played Loss United on the Saturday, and before Loss United on the Saturday against Derrymside. But then after that season, I had a really good season, enjoyed it, and then I was in with Lossie. Probably, he was saying about the excitement he had for that following season. I had the same, because I thought, knew I'm a Lossie player, and had a good season. That was a really good season at in. And then when the season after, I think Forest won the league that year, and then the season after that was whatever year it would be, when Kev Walker tenure, and then Dan our tenure halfway through the season. But I had a really good first 6 months. I had 12 goals by the start of December. Well, probably into Christmas actually. I had 12 goals, and I had a few teams with him. I had Forest and Nairn, and then actually Boyford Cove was kind of what I kind of half heard that Cove were kind of asking about me. And I was like, I was never going to hear it, but so basically kind of had Mo phoning me, and I was kind of saying Nairn and that, but I ended up going to Forest. They were league champions. I came to a few boys there. They were kind of good and tried to schmooze me there. Kind met Rowley and that. I was out of contract in the season, so I could speak to them. And he went to get it done there and then. So I moved there in the January, and I ended up getting 11 goals till the end of the season. So I finished that season with 23 goals, and it was only like 20 going on to 21. And it wasn't kind of then, it was just you were just playing. But now I look back again, I'd done no bad there, and kicked on, and we played the following season. Big Lee, he was injured then, he came back, so I was up front with him at Forest, enjoyed it. The only thing I'd say is I wish I kind of treated it more like I was more professional myself. I was going nights out like you do at our age and that, but I maybe wasn't doing the right things after games and after training and maybe kind of getting to an age where the training and the games were starting to kind of affect you a wee bit more than just being young loon. And then we had a good team, but we never ever kind of won a cup or got close in the game of the league. So that was the only disappointing thing with Forest I had. And I came back to Lossie, the 2015-16 season. Again, back here, really enjoying it again, and scoring goals and playing with good players. With Biscuits, Nam was back in, and we had a good few seasons, and he came back, and so that was back at Lossie. And for then on, it's kind of just been as he was saying, it's a transition, sort of getting Lossie trying to find its feet again for the last whatever year. But it's getting a good place again. Good boys are on the scene and that. So that's kind of
wobble last season, but should be back to this season.
Kind of making you're not going to turn into football players. You are winning 5-0 every week. The struggles make you.
I think I've learned a lot from it. Like I love the thought of going away game. Say like cool, away to Huntly and try to mastermind a wee. Can try to see manage the whole game and get a point at least, and I love the thought of that. And it's like, and it's probably something. If somebody has maybe won trophy after trophy, is probably thinking, it's about winning. Like it is about winning, and I want to win every game. But there's a why you're doing it when you're at a club at Ross, and the challenges are different.
But Ian Campbell calls it, it's a coasters, but Ian says roller coasters, because it is. Because it's like we've been in teams where you're flying, and then we've had tough periods and like I say, mine was said about the under-20s team coming up. We started that season, I think was it 8-0 down or something? At half-time away to Wick. It was like the second game of the season. And I remember thinking, what have I done? What have we done? But what am I doing? Like, I'm really enjoying this. But then it was like in at half-time, and you kind of say, right, let's just keep it tight on. But then, so you go to 0-0 second half, right? And I hate that shout because it's pointless, right? Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's more for player morale. So you're thinking, right, we can't defend, right? So it's just going back to basics now. But then you've got the other side of it. Kind of when we first started with Charlie's manager, it was some good league campaigns here. You're right, chasing that top 10. And
we've taken a few scalps. I mean, going away, Cove hadn't been beaten at home in 2 years, and we went away and beat them. It's like 3-1 or something, and we beat Bucky, were champions, beat him 2-1, and
We were actually flying. I think we were top of the league for a good number of weeks.
That was the year Forest won the league. I'm sure around about Christmas, Forest were top, Nairn were second, and Lossie were third. And we were flying, and it was right enjoyable to play. And it was 4-4-2, and just sort of.
So Loss is good at it. You kind of see both sides of it. So you gain a lot of experience that way, I suppose.
Absolutely. That's it's as I say, it's the making of you. Right, my favourite 2 questions to the podcast. In your career, who's the best player you've played with, Liam?
Played with, I think it's quite easy for me if I was said it, and it's Biscuits, Sean Scott. It's genius, like, but kind of, I always said it, I've said it before, and something I can't remember what it was, but he, like, see all your coaching textbooks and all that, and just throw them out the window. Because when it comes down to, like, somebody just to dig somebody a bit of magic, just pure desire to do something, to change a game, Biscuits could just do it. I've seen him, like, just standing, like, you be in a game, you're needing a goal, and he'd just be standing, like the way he used to stand, with his legs crossed, like, just standing there, and then when the ball came near him, he just burst into action, and he'd go and score a wonder goal or something. I mind playing Devon Vale, he just scored a hat-trick out of nothing, just out of no way, and what a difference maker it was. Like, mind away to Clark, 1-0 down.
It's a beauty.
It was a Wednesday night game, he wasn't even there, and then but he was coming, he must be, I think he was working late or whatever, but he turned up about half time, and he came on, scored an equaliser. You just like, I just found when you're playing, you just had that, like, weapon, like, hidden weapon there. Nobody came how to defend him, and I just thought he was a genius, and he's a brilliant boy now, probably the best boys you'll ever meet.
Top lad,
and which an opposition player probably wouldn't say, because I've seen him get a few red cards at this time. Like, but no, I think he's, like, for me, just definitely best, like, proper, just total fit by a player I've played with. Like
Ross, plus with.
Like, Business is there, but I would have probably said Business as well, but I'll go for any of them that I was kind of turning between. There's McMillan, I would say, Mark McMillan, and it's just, again, it's like, he's not going to go and do a million stepovers and this and that. It's not, when you're asking the best player, it's, folk think a player is different thingies. I think, well, he was, as Liam says, McMillan was all round. He would drive up it, as fast as he could drive up a pitch, he was doing it backwards to defend for his team. And he was demanding standards all the time. He didn't ask for, if you were again 100%, he would tell you. And see if, like, you bit back at him, he would just let you bite back, and you would get it at half time or something, but you would get on with it, and you would do it. And see if he crumbled, he was probably fine with that, because he bled out a weak link, really. But if you keep coming back and keep going, and I think that was him driving standards makes him top player for me, because I just think, like, what made me a good player was him demanding me to be a good player, can demand me to work hard, and it'll come.
He was captain for a good while, and, like, also saying I was captain. I've been captain also a good number of years, and I always felt, like, he led by example, and that's what I tried. I didn't need to. I've never had to be shouting and kind of geeing up the app. Like, I will do that again and that, but I'd rather lead by example, and that's what he did.
And he can you do pass drills and training and this and that. And McMillan was his passing and everything was on point, and like he could fizz a pass. He was technically really good, and I think he gets enough credit for being how technically good he was at football now. And he's a strong runner and that. And I just
a nutter.
I've seen him. But I'd think he would defend you, and if somebody was giving you a hard time and he noticed it, he'd be his first boy to give them an elbow or something. But there's been plenty players like that. But it's really it made an impression on me when for a young age, for just the way he done things, and I'm glad that I seen that, because it was a good example for me to go by.
You stick to things. Can I just get a quick time check, Ryan? Sorry.
45 minutes, mate.
Excellent. So a sponsor. Got a sponsor.
About time.
Yeah, about time. Thank you to Chris Foote, Elgin City director, Elgin City women's team director, for sponsors for the season. You're going to be hearing Chris Foot a hell of a lot over the next year.
Yes, in the words of former guest Chris Saunderson, if it moves, Chris Foot can get it sponsored.
Yep. And this podcast is definitely moving in the right direction.
See, this is good advertisement right now.
So yeah, Chris is going to be coming to an episode as well.
Entering the sweepstakes of who's been in the studio on all podcasts that are produced in here.
Yeah, because it's a running one between
you,
myself, Dom,
Matty Slinger, Chris Saunderson. I know he kind of hosts two of them, but
Chris Foot.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of like, let's just say, pimping ourselves out to podcasts. But yeah, Chris will be on to speak about Elgin City Women, Man City, unfortunately for Ryan.
Well,
but
it was looking like it was going to go horribly right, didn't it? But now it's kind of looking like it's going down.
To be fair to Chris, he's a Man City fan since like the 80s.
Yeah, so he's been at like York and the Paul Dickov playoff final and all that stuff.
Down in like the third division and stuff like that. So he's a proper Man City fan. So thank you to Chris Foot for sponsoring us for the year. You'll be seeing his name all over our posts, all over our social media, hearing his name a lot in the podcast, but it's for a good reason, because he's helping us keep the lights on at the Lighthouse Podcast Studio. Right, flip side of the question. Ross, who's the best player you've played against in your career?
Man, name me one.
Aye.
Because I've got in where, if I was thought, if I was a asked this question, there's a boy Colin Williamson at Brora. He was at Clark when he was younger, and I think he gets, obviously you've got Twiggy,
the
like
names came up before on
you've
here.
got like Mark Nicholson at Brora, and the boys have been there for years, but he's been there for years. I think it's Sid, his nickname is. But every time I played against him, he just snuffed me out, like, because he had pace. And then he's in them, but you look at him and think, I'll probably win a header, but he was towering above you, winning headers. It was just really hard to play against. Really, he was really aggressive and that. And he's obviously had a really good career, because he's won 100 Brora and he's still playing there. So it's when I thought up when he played for Clark, I thought when he went to Brora, I thought, that's a cracking signing. So he's really hard to play against. And then obviously I think Xander Sutherland is probably the best player I've played against. Like, if you're just winning one, but he's just unbelievable. Like, I actually played right back a few times with Lossie, and there's boys I've played against that are like one-trick ponies. I think I'd show him down the side, I've got a bit of pace, I can show him down the side, he's nail left foot, I can sort him out. But see, when I played Xander Sutherland for 45 minutes and he tore me to bits, I didn't think he was going left, right, he was going inside, so I'm thinking, do I follow him? And even if I had him outside, he's got a left foot and he put a brilliant cross in, and he done that to the best, and probably he done that to teams that are League One level, League One teams, the Scottish Cup level. And so to me, it's like I just thought he was the best player I played against. Yep. Definitely.
Liam, I'd probably say, because I've played directly against him, is Blair Yule.
Aye, it was the second mentioned player on here.
What a player, but I mind just obviously when Cover in the Highland League, what season? I can't mind the season, but I was having a good season anyway. And I was playing centre field, and it's mental, because I don't mind going in to that game having had a good run of games and you're confident, right? And see, playing against him, he just drained you any confidence you had. He just made a fool of you, because he outrun you, he was stronger, he was just so good in the bar, you couldn't get near him. And he was a bit of a confidence killer, like Blair Yule. Came when you actually think I'm actually alright, and then you play against him, you think, nah, I'm nowhere near it.
Is it a bit like playing? What's it like playing against the boy Kane Winton for fucking Bankside?
He's a unit, is he? Big loon, like.
Because
he's good.
Me and Ryan have had we spoke about him previously, and big lad, like physical, and just. Do you enjoy them kind of battles in midfield, or would you rather be against somebody that's technically good?
Good question.
And the same question for you, Ross. You enjoying somebody's you enjoying a physical defender, or are you wanting somebody who could probably match you for pace? It's probably going to be
it's tough, because there's times when I play teams and I think they're nae really big loons that I could probably, even at my stature, roll them a wee bit. Like, they roll them, but like kind of I can have the bar up for a while with these boys. You don't have to be big to do it. It's a bit kind of experience and technique, but when you've got somebody that's kind of your nae huge, it's going to just push out the Y. It's kind of like up, but then they've often got pace, so it's different. But I kind of liked I think a lot of boys have mentioned, like Eric Watson, all these boys, and Nathan Sharp. I played with him at Forest, played against him, but and the boy Scotty Fraser at Vale, they were kind of really tall guys with no pace, and I kind of felt I got the better of them a lot more. And especially for playing with Lossie when we should, it probably helped that we probably hit them in the break a lot. But I felt like I preferred that sort of defender that was big and slow. But I don't think you get up now if it was changed up. They're big and fast now.
Aye.
So
physical. You'd be like a physical battle, Liam.
I don't mind it. It depends the kind of game though. If it's if there's a lot of long bars and you're winning second bars, you're probably more winning a technical player, because I feel I could be a bit more aggressive or more aggressive than they are to get the ball. But when you're like you say, example, you're a kid winning, he's built for that. So you're wasting your time. But I know I don't mind it. I honestly couldn't choose. Like I say, I've played in every position in the park. I like to feel I can adapt to whatever. I must admit though, he's going to be a really good player. The boy Cole Anderson at Locos.
Okay,
Is that his name?
They came across him.
Is it the?
Is it Ross Anderson's youngest?
He's playing there just new. I don't know why he came to my head there, but I mind playing him at Grant Park, and he's really good technically, but he runs, his movement's unreal, and I tell you, it's tough chasing. And Locals are a team that like to try and play football. So it's worse because they've got like 80% of the bar, and you're just trying to chase them and cover them. So probably more likely happy to play against a kind of more physical player. You know what I mean? So it's less chasing.
And it's hard to answer because it depends on conditions of the day, the pitch, and then also me as a striker, how I'm getting the ball to me. Is it just getting hoofed up to me? Then I'm wetting somebody wee that I can maybe win a header or can take it down. But if it's going down the channels or if it's in behind, then somebody's slow.
Even there, like even the boy Dingwall, these boys that run off you in
Tony,
kind of boys that run off you, and that's hard to pick up like his. Don't mind the boy that'll stay in the middle. That's fine. That's answered your question.
Okay, so a testimonial. As I say, this will be on the Monday, the 22nd, 28th. It's quite an achievement, lads. Like you've got to admit, because like a fit bus so fickle these days. Boys are nickname clubs these days because they fucking jump about every 6 months. So it's 10 years, or is it 10 seasons? I can't mind what the day.
So altogether, I've probably. I'd be up to be 13 now.
I think I'm similar. All in, obviously going to Forest and Vale and that. It's 13.
So it's good. I just love playing for Lossie. I love the whole. It just suits me. Like I just like the whole. How it's like you get a core of local boys. Like obviously it's down the road, which is handy. It's like air.
It always helps.
But it's now. I just think even like the supporters of Lossie can seen it as a young loon and seen it now as older players seeing young loons coming through. That they've always had a good core of supporters that go to other away games. There's always a support there wherever you go, but they're always encouraging. It's never negative. Now I've played for Devon Vale, and like obviously there's a great folk at Devon Vale in the hand, but I remember playing some games and hearing some horrible things with the side, thinking, how are you meant to?
You may be on our side.
You're meant to be on our side. You're meant to be helping us here, Ken. That was obviously a minority. It wouldn't have been the mob, but I'd never hear it. I never hear it at Lossie, never once. And it's the first time when we first signed, it was a core of boys that were just worked hard for each other. Everybody get paid the same, and it's always been like cut through, and there's no any kind of nobody's above nobody, and no, it's just been. I'm actually just really proud of it. Just proud of. I'm proud of Lossie because I've played in games and you're fighting for the club all the time. It's
just fighting for reputation.
And we are and all the boys that train out wide. It's Monaco, but you're really proud to play for Lossie, and it's just I'm delighted that you're getting recognised as somebody that's
made a difference to the
I
club.
done a good job at the club, like, and that's all I went to do. Was just do my best, and hopefully, it was good enough.
Aye.
It was something to look back on and
that's it.
show at Bairns. And
Do you find it a wee bit surreal?
It's a wee bit, yeah, because I've seen a few. I've played in a couple of testimonials.
I've played a few. Like,
Played in Soapies, didn't you?
yeah, so we playing his end, which was good.
I was a runner in.
Aye, that was tough. But it is a bit surreal. It's just like you don't think you kind of like folk going about imposter syndrome. You kind of think, I deserve this, but no, you've got to look at it and be chuffed with it. And like Ross says, I've got 2 wee boys now. Like one they're bound to be fit by daft this or days. But they'll look back and be chuffed as well. So
you've got to take it. Like I get the imposter syndrome. I'm somebody that's had no football career, and you look how much fucking football I'm involved in.
busiest man,
busiest man in the northeast of football. I've had no football career, but like so, I've got fucking winner medals and things like that now, and it's impossible. It's like how it's hidden, but it's like how the fuck have I got to that stage? And you would be like, that's a testimony. How the fuck have I got to that
because
stage?
All I did was just go play football. I love playing football. I found a place I like playing at. All my pals were there all through the years. Made loads of pals. And you're getting recognised for just doing something you've loved. It's brilliant.
And then the COVID and it's like it feels that's flew in since then, because that's 5 years really. You can like 4 seasons, 5 seasons, and it's flew in and for that time thinking, well, where's this going to go? It's going to happen here, because obviously some clubs have been struggling and
still are.
And it's kind of it's also it's good to get recognised with it, and proud of it.
So if you're listening, get yourselves down to Grant Park, 3 o'clock kickoff, 28th of June. There'll be a decent crowd. There's always a decent crowd at Lossie anyway.
Elgin's doing really well as well, so there'll be folk going to see it, and they'll have probably trialists and that, I'd imagine.
It's really good of them though to give us a Saturday 3 o'clock kickoff game, because
they could have had different. They could have
hosted somebody and
a Tuesday night or something.
So
like
they've
that.
been really good, like I must say, because Charlie's obviously been feeding back to. He's also got a good relationship with folk there, and Alan Hale and all that. They've been brilliant. And then it should be good, because we've got some ex teammates and all that, because we feel like we've played the 2 generations at Lossie.
You do, because you're a part of the original. Well, I don't know. Did you play with likes of Stevie Dixon and that?
I played in this testimonial.
Dixon and that, and then you've got this new generation that's come through the last couple of years.
Fitness changed a lot.
It's mad, isn't it?
And fitness totally changed while we've been playing it. But no, so there's some boys back for that. So I mean, not to do how they work all that but you win. It should be a competitive game, obviously.
He's needing a couple of deep fibs sitting about.
But that's I'm glad you said that. I know it was a lunatic.
A hail ambulance and all.
But no, it'd be good just to have experience, because I think Charlie's got it set up that we've got like a whole pre-match and everything. But it's bringing up 2 kind of generations together. And mixing and having a good laugh and I think that's kind of the main bit of enjoyment for us. The game will take care of itself.
Absolutely. Does.
Everybody's competitive. The minute you go into the pitch, we'll all be moaning at each other and back to normal like we've done for how many years, So
I think it's been confirmed that I might be the Soapy playing.
I think he might be.
We'll ask question. I think it's been confirmed. If it's nay, then oops. But he's I think he's playing a half each. So
because he invited us to ours, but he's obviously been our best pal, so you wouldn't be in it as we all.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get him on here, but he's not interested.
It's funny, it's weird calling him Soapy. Call him Baz.
But no, he's what a player. But he's.
Would he be one of your honourable mentions for your 11 that never made it?
Goes out, aye. But he never played at Lossie, but after next Saturday, he could maybe stick him in it.
That's it.
Right, just before we get into Celtic chat and we'll get into your 11, you're enjoying listening as you want to watch us, join us on Spotify. I don't know, me and Ryan are going to come up with a plan going forward, but I might have more regular access to videos on YouTube and things like that shortly, but I still need to make the podcast profitable. So we'll figure something out. Give us a follow, give us a rating, all the above. Right, Celtic, favourite subject on the podcast. Did you get down to games much?
Nah.
As much as I'd like to.
Nah.
Just
Being
saying a rain
Saturday,
football.
Saturday football players.
Yeah.
Aye.
Aye.
There is times though when they're playing a Sunday up at Dingwall or even in Dundee, you're thinking, why was I not organised enough to go and get a ticket for that?
Aye.
But it's Hayne Bairns now new and it's like you're out all day Saturday, can't really justify going the Sunday and But it's I would love to go to Mayor, but
Being
it's just what it is.
European games is probably the best opportunity, but again, you're missing training.
It's a no-no, like.
But no, not as much as like, to be honest. But obviously, I was watching it when it's on the telly now.
Aye. Do you think that'll change as kind of the kids get older, taking the Bairns down to the Celtic games and things like
I
that?
can't wait for that.
Because you'll be like me, going on buses at young ages and things like that. That's
Happy memories.
It's maybe nae the things you should experience at that age, but
the tunes ringing out in your
the
lugs.
tunes ringing out and the things you see, but memories you'll hold on to for a lifetime. I remember that them bus journeys like it was yesterday, like. And
It's like it was
I
a
mind my
good
dad
game,
I used to love the bus journeys because you listen to all the tunes on and you get a laugh at kind of folk on the bus. And my dad used to, he's that bus for hell, man. And we used to think, oh, please don't, we want to go in the bus.
I love it, I like it.
But it was, I can't wait to take a loon to it. Like, well, I'm saying the loon, Baith loon is, the youngest is still just a baby, but I can't wait to get the two of them doing. Because I just mind that feeling seeing Celtic Park for the first time.
Same.
Came walking up the steps and see it, and it hit you because you're just it's massive, but it's just
my first day was before the Celtic Way and all that was built, and it was just used to be the road and on the side, and I can't remember. We were down. There was like a signing or something like that, and we went on that day. 2,000 people outside for a signing. It wasn't even a big name or nothing like that. It just shows you what it means to the people doing there. Like. If that what it means to us being hundreds of miles away, imagine what it's like when it's on your doorstep. It's a different feel. A bit like the user like playing for Lossie, it's on your doorstep. It's a different feeling. I'm not going to ask the $1 million question of do you think Brendan Rodgers is the right man? Because no, he's fucking not. He's shite. But do you think? Like this Celtic team, obviously they've been very successful. It's not a great Celtic team though, is it? It's not.
Well, I was saying this to you. Well, can obviously speak with Celtic at the time, but I've just got this horrible feeling that a season coming could be a toughie. Like because Rangers will get they'll get a wee bounce, and then there's always rumours us losing Kuhn and Hatate and CCV and all these boys, and then obviously like McGregor's kind of. Kane's retired with international and to play, but I think he's kind of starting to lose his legs, but he's still fine. But the more of the European games, he can get fun out noon again. But if we were to lose 2 or 3 of that team, even Maida and I put him in the list, 2 or 3 of them, it'd be so hard to replace instantly. And we're still trying to find someone out of Engels to replace O'Reilly because they've been nowhere near the standard O'Reilly set. No. And then Kyogo gone, he doesn't really. He's had a decent season, but he's not to that levels. So we're still trying to really find a Kyogo replacement. So but the only thing is you're saying that with Brendan Rodgers, but I kind of think Brendan Rodgers, I kind of trust him to pull someone out of the bag, but he always has if he's to pull out the bag. Domestically, he'll have a poor European season.
That's true.
And it's like he always balances it that way. That seems to be like, but he's not really in his control. But it's. I just have a horrible feeling for next season. But that's saying that's us being spoiled though. A horrible feeling. We might only win one trophy. We've been spoiled. So whatever happens, I'm kind of grateful for the years we've had the trebles in hand, and I'm still kind of like celebrating that really.
You're at the top. There's only one way to go.
That's it.
And it's
like you're right though. We have been spoiled. Like your kind of age, because we missed. Oh, we're also ruining the 90s, but we never really took it in.
Just slightly too young for it.
We got the very tail end of it. But when Martin O'Neill tenure, that's literally when we woke up to fit back in.
I can name every player that went in and out the door that year.
And so we're looking at it new for that kind of. That why of when we had, like, I hate it when folks say best since Larson. It's like, stop even comparing Larson. Nobody's going to get near it. We're never going to see a good a player as him again.
There's no world class player going to come to Celtic.
Nah.
No.
He was far too good to be us.
The age, the years he gave us now, it was his prime.
That's the thing. If anybody even
European
get
Championships
close to him, they wouldn't have been here for long. They'd be gone. But I like to say, but I think the way Celtic's just run differently now. It's more just like you say. If we lose boys, they're going to bring folk in, but they're not going to be. They're going to be projects. That's Celtic. I was going to try and stay on top. It's just I do think it's run well. Like Celtic is well run. You look at Rangers, like they just didn't have a structure at all.
No.
Celtic do, top to bottom. Like if we lose players, we will replace them. Like we might take a wee half step back, but we're nae capitulating.
Aye.
So it's, and Brendan Rodgers is at that stage where he's had his jobs in England and knew it's like he's settled at Celtic. I didn't see him going. And the board will be delighted with that because they didn't want drastic changes. They don't want to be looking for managers.
They want that trophy every season. They're happy.
Yeah. And they get into Europe and we do well in Europe now. But you're still going to support it because you're desperate for them. Because you just never know.
You never know. It might be our year, 1 year.
Pick up that point that I was saying earlier. It's like I was thinking like Jota isn't going to be there. Isn't going to be available this season. And then Tierney's back. I think brilliant signing. But how long is he going to last before he gets an injury?
Aye.
You're just hoping with the demands of Premier League, he would have been injured, but going to Scottish Premier League, the demands wouldn't be so high, so he might manage to last the season and it might help us out. But
he played 60 games a season for Celtic.
So that's my only
I
hope.
think he's injury prone. He was now.
No.
But it was good. I kind of think I shouldn't say it. Kind of my father-in-law's Aberdeen, so he was obviously chuffed with the cup final. But in a way, if you were to lose that cup final, I'm glad it was against an Aberdeen. Obviously, if it was Rangers, it'd be fuming and devastated. But because it was Aberdeen, it was good to see them lift a trophy. It's like fair play, and maybe it was a boot Lars we kind of needed.
I think it's probably a bigger boot in arse than you're getting beat by Rangers. Because you think, all right, maybe Rangers have just won the same way. You think, well, Aberdeen, we've just been out of them for 90 minutes and they've just shagged us in the last 10. You know, and it's
exactly.
But I went back to it's been fit by a season. Who was it? Forest won 8-0 this season.
Underdogs, isn't it?
30% possession in the game.
I was at
What's going on with that? Palace beat United 2-0, 20% possession in the game. And just football's changing. Pet ball's dying.
Do you think though, folks like say that you've kind of this is a way to play, and I was like, but folk are always going to find a way to ruin it. The point of the game is to win. So whatever you've got to do to win. But the thing I would say is to be sustainable over a long period, like a league campaign, you cannot live every game on 20% possession.
Oh God, no.
Like cup competition, and you're gonna that's where you can't do that. But if you look at Nottingham Forest, they've done really well, but they tailed off because it's not sustainable. No. Whereas Man City are total possession, but look, they've had a terrible season, but they've still finished in Champions League place. They're still, and you look, they've just invested a bit again, and they're ready to push on again because it's sustainable. Because the way they're playing, you're bringing in players, but you're not bringing in a boy, and you're thinking, how do I fit him in? It's we need this. Let's bring him in.
Fits into this. Exactly.
Again, it's you can't go. You can't. I don't think you could have a team and say, right, we're just going to sit in, soak it up and counter all the time. How do you find a player that's good at that all the time? You literally find that out when you've got them, can you? And
I think kind of players develop the clubs they're at now, because clubs are different. You look at say Bournemouth and Newcastle, two examples, totally different clubs, totally different demands, totally different stadiums, fan, noise levels, fans, all that stuff. It's totally different. So it's some teams Bournemouth have had a really good season, and that's probably them winning the league. That's their standards. And that boy, to be fair, has come in and says we're going to try and dominate the games now, and he's managed to do it majority of the time. But he's obviously proved himself to be a really good manager. But see when the teams come up, get promoted, and that Russell Martin doing it with Southampton, and he's saying possession, we can control games now, and it's but you can't kind of like there's some clubs that can't do it. There's no it's as football. It's like to play football. It's like there's different ways.
I'm buzzing for that
find
against
halfway.
Celtic. By the way, I am buzzing for that against Celtic because we'll fucking murder them.
Well, I don't know. Guinness though, he will make them better against in domestic.
Aye, I
against
agree with
your
that. Yeah,
domestic teams.
Kilmarnock and all that.
And Kane, how they've been really good in Europe. Well, this is my prediction. It could be stupid here, but I think they will pick up domestically because if you think about it, Old Firms they were better.
Yeah,
they were losing to your St Mirrens and Motherwell's. Not it's what killed them really.
Yep.
I think Russell Martin will probably come in and make them better. Like he will take care of teams because if he works on possession, they will have possession and they'll probably dominate. Although teams will sit like really deep and defend, which he's maybe not as used to when he was Southampton in the Championship. But I think in Europe's where they might be as good as they've been. Because if he goes fire with fire against some of these European teams, you could get hammered. And Celtic experienced that.
We've went through a kind of transition. We've went through it. It's obviously like to go through. We've taken a few defeats and kind of been laughed at for Rangers because they've kind of went far in Europe by playing as a cup game. But we've tried to play and dominate games as we do in the league game. And win that way, and we've taken doings, but we're kind of starting to get over the hill. We've improved.
You look at Bayern Munich game. Bayern Munich game, we're fucking all over them.
Exactly.
You know?
But like it goes to my point now. But like the Rangers kind of they've done well in Europe and that, but they've made it. But because they've done well in Europe because they've not had much possession, they've countered and that. It's nice to stay. They can't do that against St Mirren. It's a total different game.
You'll never win the trophy playing like that.
I don't. You might win the cups. You might do, but if you want to be sustainable through a whole league campaign and fight on all fronts, I think you've got to be kind of at least half possession based. But we have purpose. I hate it when you pass for no reason.
Slow passing for no reason.
Can just. Can you go to have possession, but you've got to be trying to work in areas. Can get boys that you want on the bar in certain areas, and that requires certain movements.
You feel like sometimes you're just doing it to fill the stats a wee bit.
Some boys that get these passing stats, and but you've passed the bar
sideways and
sound
backwards.
like a dinosaur, but you get what I mean.
It's like you get
but
boys
here's
like,
me playing for Lossiemouth telling.
You get fucking boys like Ruben Dias, 98% pass rate, and it's like, but you just passing his other centre backs again.
There's obviously that thing. We're saying here, we're just sitting here, never near that levels, but it's just by watching it, innit?
That's the joy of it. It's all about opinions.
That's it. Abdi's got one. That's the beauty of football. Right. What do you reckon's your proudest achievement in football, Ross? So far.
I actually hope it's still to come, but it's probably longevity. I'd say I've still kind of been playing a long time. I do see boys there's some boys that can obviously life can sort of can cut your football career short a wee bit with him Bairns and obviously settling down, married and on and. You lose out the house on a Saturday, things like that. And you can see some boys' careers curtail with that, but I've managed to kind of adjust my life to still play high league football at a decent sort of level. And so I'm kind of proud that I've dug in and kept my head down and kept going and trying my best every year to try and win something. I mean, I would love to say winning this cup, or maybe it was that league, but it's as they came for me, and it's made me through lack of trying. So I'm kind of proud that I've kept going. I'm still chasing it, and still chasing success that way. So it's probably that. But for a moment, I would say it's lost of testimonial. But when I went to Forest, I went in there, and the pressure was up a rung a wee bit. It wasn't up a level. We were still playing high league, but it was up a rung because they were league champions. They were obviously expected to win a lot more games through the season. And I went there and played away to Keith, my first game, and I got a goal. I think we got beat 2-1. But then the following week, away to Tariff, I scored that in, and we won that in 5-2 or something. And then my home debut was against Rothis, and I got 4 goals that game. And I mind just thinking, I was just I was right proud of myself, really. And I was like, I've kind of stepped up. I thought, can I do it? And I've proven I could do it, and so I was kind of proud moment that playing for the league champions and scoring goals for them. And then, but probably Velocity was my debut, against Forest, like scoring a goal and getting assisted, getting the player of the week. I remember being super confident for some reason. Probably young and naive, and
Can help.
but it helps you. So when you get Allery, he'll probably overthink it a bit. But then it was just, I mind playing a ball out wide to, I think Fletty was left mid that game. I played a ball out wide on the outside my right foot, just curved it round his path, and thinking, what am I doing? It was just as if I didn't even take a second thought, just done it.
I
was just
thought that when I
confidence.
was watching.
Just the confidence. So that was probably a proud moment. Just the longevity, and then a few moments I mentioned there.
Aye. Liam.
Like Ross says, longevity. It's mere just played the Highland League for since 2010, 15 years.
Yeah.
It's a good standard of fitba. You've got to be fit. You've got to be decent. Some sort of decent level of fitba to do it. So proud of that. But mainly probably the North Scotland, although we lost it, which is sickening, but North Scotland Cup final, kind of captained Lossie to a cup final.
Aye.
There's not many boys in see that.
No.
Certainly past
No,
20
definitely not.
year, 20, 30 year anyway. So no, proud of that, and then captain Lossie for what, 8 year, 7, 8 year, and quite proud of that. Like,
Absolutely. Even just like having a semi-professional career, lads. It's like it doesn't happen very often.
No.
You've got to fucking work hard to get to there.
well, that's the thing. Like you say, and you realise you're
luck
good
in
in that game, but I never consider us to be. I've never ever claimed to be a great football player, but like I've done my best with what I've got. Worked
Aye.
hard, kept myself fit, and tried to adapt as well. Like I said, fitness changed as I've been playing it. I mind before I broke my leg, I was like, I turned up. I was fit. I never gained any weight or nothing because I was always played fitba. But see, when I broke my leg, tried to come back, I had probably gained a bit of weight because I hadn't done nothing.
Aye.
And then, like, I'm overcompensating my left leg because I broke my right, and I need to strengthen this area of my body. And you've got to adapt. And that doesn't, like, you train Tuesday, Thursday, and you play on a Saturday, but you're doing things with it to make sure you're fit and able to be playing. And so, it's been quite good to be able to keep that up for a long period.
Unbelievable. 1-11. Right. Give me a 4-4-2. It's a combined 1-11. I did actually give the lads 16, but you're going to keep it Lossie based just to do the testimonial and things like that.
Yeah. Just our boys have played with Lossie. And
Absolutely. Because you're probably here for days if you're just to open it up to the floor. Like, Minnie in goals. Fucking brilliant player. Ryan Farker right back. Kev Flat and Chris Ross is your centre backs. Ali B up at left. Ryan Stewart right mid. Big McMullen in centre mid. And then you've got Conor McCauley / Scott Miller, because you couldn't make up your mind with two of them. Coco out in the... That'd be left. Is that left?
Coco's on the right
and
and
Stewart
shooting
on the
left.
left.
Aye, okay. Martin Charlesworth and Biscuits up front. It's quite a team, like.
Big
It's a
team,
good side. Well
physical.
aye.
You get a few kicks out of that team, like.
Aye.
Mini, just like I think Coco said in his episode that he used to stand in the shower throwing a football against a wall, screaming.
Yep.
Aye. Right.
Scary boy. Like,
I think he used to run up and down the stairs now before going to games. Now. I think he was just totally focused for the minute he got up that Saturday morning. Probably in the Friday night, he was ready to go on the Saturday for 3 o'clock. And see, now it's kind of like you could tell now you have to eat the right things the day afore games on. But Minnie was doing that then, like before, and it was to make himself totally ready for 3 o'clock. And he was probably, I mind him doing some wild stretches and that before a game, and it was so he was limbered up for the game, ready to go, and it's like, well, that was probably it's time and that. So Minnie was an ultimate professional.
Yeah.
So
great goal, like great boy as well. He'd be shouting and screaming and nothing, but he's not like that as a person.
No, he's the complete opposite.
But like Ross says, it's probably just he switches on to fitba mode, and that's it.
Yep.
I've seen him say some great saves, and many I was trying to improve. He always his goal kicks. He used to annoy himself his goal kicks, but training he would do them all the time.
Aye.
And any sort of weakness he'd try and practice him.
Just a good player, like
A legend, that boy. Like I played with him at Vale as well, so it's a travel with him.
I think he's been at every club going, every welfare club going, every
He
juniors.
actually, when I broke my leg, he drove me to A&E in his rent-a-kill van. Because I thought I just bruised it or something.
Ryan Farker, seen a bit of Ryan at Elgin a couple of years ago when Scott Miller came at the same time as him. They were under a horrible 3-5-2 system under Gavin Price, and it just didn't work for any of them. Anyone but good player, Ryan. Quick, I remember, very, very quick.
He's not really a right back, but he has played there. We played a 4-3-3 a few. We were playing it. That's kind of Abdi plays me, but a few years ago he was kind of right back, and I was the front three. And he played him, and we kind of dovetails quite well. Like if he was over, I'd be covering on, and he played really well there. So like that's why he would predominantly play as a right midfielder in a 4-4-2, but I've seen him play right back, and he's a really good, because he's got a bit of dig in him. He'd die to defend his goals, but he would be really good going forward, and he's got brilliant fitness to do it. And see, for dribbling a ball, he could do an outside you and a baller. Kind of a lot of voice cut in on, but he was old fashioned outside you, and he got this delivery in it.
Yeah, I always thought, because Charlie played on right back a few times, he's like, he would do two positions in one. Just his fitness levels and his drive to get up and down the line. He's a good, again, I'd probably say everybody, but our
magic
boy.
So Kev Flett and Chris Ross, it's a centre back pairing,
good balance, right foot and left foot, and
Flett up in dogs. But Chrissy was underrated. We thought he was a lot of folks say he carried a bit of weight, but he could shift, like he could run. He was fast, and you could probably ask a lot of good top highland league strikers that they probably had really tough time against Chrissy. Kind of like I was saying about what Colin Williamson, I bet a lot of folk will probably have the same thoughts with Chrissy. So he was being tough to play against. I hate playing against him training and that, because he was aggressive, strong, and he can move. And then again, another magic boy.
Flett is real.
Flett,
because Flett he was great left foot and hand, Ken. I was just think like Mo, kind of way he played ping diagonals was.
Still does.
Flett can do the same.
I think I pointed back to a couple of months ago in an episode, but I'm obviously Mo's assistant with the women. And fucking, I'm just feeding balls in for we're doing attack versus defence, just shape and drill, and I'm just feeding balls into the midfield, and we're going from there, and Mo's just sending them back to me. He's putting 50-yard balls with backspin on them, and they're just landing at my feet every single time.
He's probably picturing Conor Gethin or something.
That was probably, I should probably mention, Mo was one of the toughest boys to play against, actually, because he was pure experience. Came to the game inside.
He'd give a kick as well,
and he would shout, "Mo's back," and you're like, "Oh, I hate to try and win this," and he's dropped 5 yards and just plucked it down with his feet, because I'm trying to win this ball, I'm never going to win. He just made a fool of you.
But I Flett is kind of a good balance here, actually, Chris and Flett, if you're looking at it as a team. But because Flett, you were saying about a game, would be Cole 3-1. Because Martin Johnson was up front, and Flett headed him in the head, and he went off injured. So
that helped.
He's in the team for that alone.
But he done well.
That's a big head as well.
Flett went to Lossie as a left midfielder when he had a lot of years of Loss United playing kind of left field, and then kind of went into left back, and then he captained us at centre half. So he's done really well. He found a really good position for himself.
And he's the main sponsor of the strips for the testimonial.
So right, okay.
His name came out the hat. Unfortunately, you see my face gutted when I drew it.
Was that KFZ? Isn't it? Okay, a bit of a lossy legend, Ali B. What a player! What a player!
Like I say, underrated, but I think he is.
Everybody
who played with Ali B will tell you how good a player he is. Technically brilliant. Can read the game. I've seen Ali B play sweeper, and I think he would sweeping old school kind of sweeper. What that is him out there. Just cool and calm. Read the game. Good left foot. Good, like no worried to get the ball in tight areas. Good on it. Good player, Ali.
I was very confident.
A good kind of reliable. Reliable to play.
Very confident with the ball at his feet. Like he'd drag it back, and he was never struggling. If he's a tight area, he's got a wee drag back to get back and find a player. He was really neat and tidy, and
just a shame he's had that injury.
I think he's done his other knee now, and it's a shame.
It is a crying shame because what a player. Like, as you say, talent wasted with injury. Spoke a wee bit about McMullen. Coco, you've had your 9 episodes, so Artie Kane's all about Coco.
We're sick of hearing about him. aren't we?
Used to be slow, new fast.
Ryan Stewart, another one. Like I always used to get him and Ryan Farker mixed up just because
Yeah.
two
Of course.
Ryans, but and both wide players.
Yeah.
He's, quick, yeah.
Well,
Technically brilliant.
Aye.
Yeah, sorry,
Probably
aye.
any of the best I've played with is at his feet. He'll beat you. Like he'll take a ball past you and you're standing there wondering how on earth did he do it. Just like and it's nae like a skill. It's literally just
A
quick
drop of
feet.
shoulder, quick feet,
He
aye.
drops his, he doesn't touch a bar and he sold you and he's a well past you. Very underrated, I think, within the league. Not but purely, he's probably had a bad time with injuries. Yeah, he seems to get himself really fit and play really well, and then he has a wee knock or whatever. But it's probably because the type he plays, because it's literally the only way to stop him.
Aye,
It's to just nail him.
Yeah.
See, when we play like, if I was a picture of Stuart in my head when we play like, say at Hayton, like a Keith or a Turriff or kind of teams that are sitting like just above us, and where we are kind of usually sitting, and we gave that Stuarty in the especially second half shooting shed end. Stuarty can win us that game by just getting the game kind of what's the word I'm looking for?
Scruff of neck.
The game
opens up a bit.
Game opens up a bit, and Stuarty will go and win you.
He gets a bit of space to start getting on the ball. Now.
It gets by boys a great assist for somebody. You've got a goal, win the game. Stuarty's really another really trustworthy boy, and like if you're away from home, we can carry up a pitch and all. So
Macaulay and Miller.
Because it honestly would depend the type of game. Because Miller, I played with Miller a couple of years, and we had good balance because I like to just sit. I was good at just kind of doing a bit all round, getting about, and he let him drive forward, and he's so good at entering the box. Like, probably any of the best I've seen in arriving at the box late. He scored so many goals doing it.
Yeah,
like
because folks, if he plays a striker, midfielder, he kind of plays both in a game. You've probably seen Elgin. I think he's given a fair crack at Elgin.
He was no, he never got much of a chance.
He could have done really well for them because he's super fit as well.
The thing is, he had sit and defend for Craig Beattie. You know, a 36-year-old Craig
I think
Beattie.
he had him sitting, and he's not a sitter.
He's so good at getting into the box, honestly. And Conor Macaulay, another. If I'm picking centre field partners, he's right up here. A total midfielder. Cadence of position naturally inside out. He's an AD nothing because he's thinking he's got a D. He just does it. And you play next to him, it's so good to not comfort somebody next to you that's cadence of position inside out. And I think he's one of the boys that brings the best out of Abdi about him because he'll make a tackle, he'll cover you, but he'll find you because he's so good at the his feet. A total midfielder. So it's so hard to pick between the two because if you're looking, you should probably start Connor, and then if you're needing a goal,
you bring on
Miller.
Great way to look at it. We've obviously mentioned Biscuits, but I suppose we'll give him a wee mention because he is going to probably be our next episode. Martin Charlesworth. Good player. Like, I always think when I first started watching Elgin and Martin was in the team and things like that.
I've got memories of Carter now.
Watching him, because he was 18 or something playing for Elgin. He's won league titles.
And scored goals in big games. Big game player.
Big game player. 100%.
My first memories, kind of proper memories, Elgin. I've got memories from before that. Is him and Shalliker. The two of them playing together.
And he would have been the runner too, but Martin was really, really good at holding the ball up, and he probably learned a lot from Shalliker, to be fair.
Kane's fit by so inside out.
Yep.
Kane's that player, so intelligent in the pitch game, and I do mind even just you see him with younger players. I remember he would be probably done a lot.
He was really good for me. Ken, he helped me a lot.
Striker movements, Ken. If somebody's gone long, and if it comes short, you come across him or you go in. But it's just.
And that was when
basics.
Just through being pals with Coco, and obviously he's Coco's brother, he would help you, even though he's at Bucky and was at Lossie. But Ken, it was kind of like a friendship. He would help you. He'd kind of give you pointers and that, and somebody didn't hate D. And but playing with him at Lossie when he came, he was a bit injury prone. He was kind of his back and that, but playing with him, I knew when I was doing running, I would do a lot of his running, and I'd be more than happy to because I knew he was bringing quality.
Aye.
The ball was going to stick. If I'm making a run and there's a cut at me, I know it's going to him, it's sticking, and he'll probably find me in a channel or something.
Kenny Miller CD.
There you go. Aye.
And he scored really good, important goals.
I played with him at Vale as well. Like Martin, I never played a lot of games because I was injured a long time. But honestly, I mind playing, and he always scored. He had a brief spell at Huntley, and he scored loads there.
Yeah.
So he's always been a goal scorer.
I mind Coco saying in this episode, he always had an arc. You just said as well, he scored important goals.
Aye.
It was like
Big games.
big game player.
I think I'm pretty sure of the two league titles he won with Bucky, he scored, and they were up at Wick, and he scored 2 that game. I think they won the league, and then the Valley in the last game of the season. Mind the boy Andy Lowe scored the beautiful free kick. He scored the first time, Martin.
Forget about that. And he scored the first
Then they
thing
needed
to equalise.
It was then they needed
because Chiz had scored the opener.
They just needed they just
game
needed
player.
the draw, and he got it.
Well, Martin will be coming to you next episode. So,
Mind all that nice things you said.
I'm just telling half a story.
get yourselves down to Lossie to Grant Park 28th of June for the boys' testimony. Go and show them a bit of support because it's 15 years in the making, lads. He's deserve a decent crowd. My hat's off to you because, like, I always go back. It's yourselves, it's Coco, it's Soapy, Xander
and Steve McKenzie.
Steve McKenzie. I think we mentioned Big Doug, but he never got a fit-back career.
Stevie Fraser was saying that was I played with him at Forest, so he was in our youth team probably
Stevie,
the later years. He was for Forest, and he was rated well. He was good enough. There's plenty probably missing boys out, but like we Dan Smith and all.
What player he was.
But
it's good though because it was our boys and youth team that I ended up playing it.
It's mental. You see the careers Abdi ends up having, isn't it?
Yeah.
You never think at 14, 15, these boys are going to at least play Highland League, kid. It's mental. Thank you for last hour and a bit, lads. Do appreciate it.
Cheers for asking us, Steve.
I was doing you get some big hairs, so I wish they asked.
No, not at all. It's good because as much as I like to get fucking a cane. I know use for school and things like that, you know. And it's good to speak about school football as much as we like speaking about Highland League and Celtic and that as well. Finally, I always finish off on the same question. If you have a penalty to save your life, who takes the penalty?
Well, I think, because I do listen, that question, and I always thought, who's the best striker of the football I've seen, that I've played with, is Simon Allen, right? But I didn't think I'd trust him to say that. He would probably miss on purpose. So I'd probably go Soapy.
Soapy.
Just because I don't think the man doesn't feel pressure. He would just go up as if and just stroke it, and that'd be it.
Aye.
Wouldn't make a big deal of it. So I probably overthought that. But
Probably wouldn't make a big deal if he missed either.
I know,
That's the worst.
Who you got, Liam?
I don't know. Certainly name myself.
No Ross either.
No, here I've missed many penalties.
I'll say Martin Charlesworth.
Aye.
Because I can see him scoring it and turning around and being like, what was the worry about? I mean, he's up kind of confident.
Aye.
Go with him.
Top quality, lads. Thank you very much. Okay. The Football Journals is now on Patreon. If you sign up on Patreon for just £5 a month, you can get access to our upcoming guests and the chance to ask your own questions, the ability to watch our podcast with full video exclusive, audio only on all other platforms. You can get your episodes earlier than anyone else, sometimes a few days, sometimes a week, but you will get your episodes earlier than everyone else. Chance to request guests of your choice. We will do them our utmost to get them on the show, if obviously within reason. I can't go asking Cristiano Ronaldo on the show. And one bonus episode per month. There's already a bonus episode on there. You'll get a further bonus episode every month. Sign up today at patreon.com/footballjournals, capital F, capital J. That's a sign up today at patreon.com/footballjournals, capital F, capital J.